What's that, Skip? Shauno's talking about Supercoach again. Let's go. G'day everybody, it's Shauno again, and I'm back with some more Supercoach content. Today we're going to be doing our Frantic Friday video with my final trades for round 2. Now, we're not always going to do this video, but today I've been up and down on what I should do for my round 2 trades. So I thought I'd give you guys an idea of what I'm going to do. Before we do that, if you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and do that. Love the support I've received this year so far. You guys and girls have been fantastic. So if this is your first time watching, or you watched before and you haven't subscribed, now's the time. Do that for me now. Also, if you could like the video, that helps me out a lot, and leave a comment down below. One last thing, don't forget, join the Discord. Lots of really fun and interesting people in there to have a chat about Supercoach with. Whether you need some help with your team or you just want to have a chat, drop in there, and don't forget to pop your team in the post my team here section, and we'll put your team up on screen next time we do a live video, and we'll either try and help you out with your team or just have a look at it and realize how much better it is than our teams. So okay, let's get on with it, crew. Here is how we went the first week. 2,330, season rank of 13,154. Very happy with this. Only a few little things like having Butters as my captain, and a few like bit of rookie roulette, and we could have had a much higher score, potentially in the top 5, 5,000, even the top couple of thousand it could have been, with a few different little tweaks. So okay, we had 2 glaring omissions this week. We've got 2 big holes. I mean, not omissions. We have Gordon and we have Young. Now, if you watch my live video, I had this crazy plan where I was going to get Malera in this week, and I was going to do a boost. No, I wasn't going to do a boost. I was going to go Young out and also Goulden out, and I was going to get in Wayne Malera. After I do like him, he's got 3 scores now, including the last game last year where he's played that distributor role. He's had that peak score 142, which is his highest score ever, which is a little bit worrying. So I was all keen and happy to get him in and take his score, and then I had a plan to get Houston next week as well when he comes off his bye. Now, unfortunately, Sean's turned into a bit of a chicken, and he's no longer going to do what I referred to as my cunning plan. We will no longer be doing the cunning plan. So what we're going to go a bit safer. We're going to go Bont in for Young and Goulden out, Bont and Murdoch in. Now, I did advise everyone not to go early on Murdoch, and I would still advise everyone not to go early on Murdoch. But if you're going to go early on one of the 2, out of Murdoch or Cook, I'd probably prefer you pick Murdoch for a couple of reasons. One is that he's cheaper, so if it fails, it doesn't really matter, and he doesn't need to make as much to make you money. If Cook came out and got a 40 and a 50 the next 2 weeks, he's not going to make you much money. Murdoch comes out and gets you a 40 and a 50 next couple of weeks, he's going to make you more money because of that lower starting price. Also, I don't know if you're like me, I didn't start a loophole, and so the best teams this year to have players for a captain loophole, the teams that seem to play the most Sunday games, are the Eagles, Melbourne, and St Kilda. All seem to play, especially in the first half of the season, they all seem to play a lot of late games on Sundays. So for me, if all else fails and he's dropped next week, obviously we're still waiting for the teams to come out on Friday afternoon. This video has been recorded on Friday morning. If he's already been dropped, this won't happen. But I'd really be disappointed if that was the case as an Eagles supporter, because he looked really good. So surely he can hold his position in the team. So As long as he's named, I'm going to be picking him. And if worse comes to worse, we make not as much money as we thought. And if the absolute disaster happens as he gets dropped, which it is Mini McWalter, and he does like to play rookie roulette, Mini McWalter, and change his rookies every second week. And if he is dropped, well, then at least I've got a loophole. He's a 99k, and he has the best team for loopholes as well. All right, so if we go down and how does that make my team look? We will just get out of this if we can. That's how we do it. So then you say, well, Shauno, what's your plan for next week, though? So you should always be a plan a week ahead. And so the team, Sinclair, Rosie, Blackiston, it doesn't really matter what Blackiston gets next week. Even if he was to score 100 this week, I still think I'll be getting rid of him just because he's got a really hard run, and we saw what happened when two big rucks go up against him. And I think Port Adelaide are definitely, they've put Sweet on their extended bench, and so there's a chance that they're going to try and do the two ruck thing against him as well. So that's a bit of a, that's a bit of an issue. We got him because we hoped that he would make us some money as a solo ruck and give us a decent score. Well, he didn't give us a decent score, and he's not going to make us any money. So I was very tempted here to do the Fonty move, and I can understand why people are going to do the Fonty move. He's basically the exact same price as Fonty. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. Let's move it across for you guys. Fonty, who's at 298k. There we go. 298k. He's got himself a 119 and an 83. So Fonty's almost guaranteed to go up money. Well, he pretty much is. Even if he gets a 75, he's going to go up 47k. And so if he could keep getting 75s, he would move up to 370k. Now, you'd hope, if you're getting him, you hope he's going to be higher than 75. But I can understand, if you're going for the cash grab, I think you'd want 100k out of him, which means he's probably going to have to go closer to 80 to 90 to get you 100k. So for me, I ummed and ahed about it, and I decided against it. But I'll show you what the plan is in a second. So we've got the Bont here. The midfield looks much better with Bont. Are we spending up for him? And he's got a buy in the next round. Yes and yes. I already looked at my predictions. I look like I'm going to lose a lot of my league matches over the next couple of weeks. And I totally expect my score to go down over the next couple of weeks as we have quite a few early buy players. But I do believe we have the best players in the team. So once we come out of the buys, you're going to expect, we still have Parrish there, but we will have Dacos on the field, and we will have Walsh on the field, and we'll probably have, nope, we don't want to trade him. We just got him in. A bit of a misclick there. So when we will have Jagger Smith on the field. So, and then we need one rookie. We'll choose whichever rookie's doing the best, a Murdoch, a Blamiers, or whatever. So we've got rid of Young, so now we're going to have to play two rookies on the field here, which is okay. And then down here, the forward line that almost 75% of coaches have this almost exactly same forward line with maybe one or two different players. Usually this Broderick position might be a little bit different, but every other player seems to be the same. Philippou and Marshall were cleared to play and are both named, so do not trade them this week, especially Philippou. I know he's got some low scores, but just hold him. You know, don't be going Philippou to Cook or anything like that. That's the other one. You know, I went Milan over Cook because of the reasons I discussed. Cook gets a 80 plus this week. I think he's a must-have. Then you can think about doing your trades. So why did I divert from my cunning plan? All right. So I'm going to show you why I did it. I renamed my plan from I have a cunning plan to I'm a chicken, because I'm chickening out of my cunning plan. So the one thing I do like is I'm only making one trade. Well, I'm making 2 trades this week, and I'm not using a boost. Originally, for my cunning plan, I would had to have made 2 trades this week and a boost next week. So when I come into next week, I will have 380k in the bank. Nice little buffer. And I really want Houston. So Houston is going to be in pretty much no matter what, unless he gets injured or something. He's in. I like the role. I don't really think that when the other guys from you got Howe and Moore come back from into that defense, I got a feeling that means the Josh Dacos will spend more time in the midfield, and Houston will still get his lion's share of the ball and the kick-ins, and they seem to like the ball in his hand. As the coach said, we're going to try and use him at all costs, and the players seem to have listened to that and bought into it and have been giving him the ball over the first couple of weeks. So Blackiston will be out. Even if he scores 100 or something, Blackiston, I don't think, at 380k, actually, if Blackiston was to come out and get like 100, I could always do something like go up from a Selwood, who'll be on his buy, up to a Houston and keep Blackiston to make a little bit of money, and then decide what I'm going to do with him the week after. At least he would have one price rise. But if Blackiston gets like an 80 or something, I think I just go straight Houston to Blackiston. So then I can just do that. But I don't think I'd be just doing that. So with the rookies on the bubble, I think, so that's for round 3. Round 3, option 2, the next option here, is you go Blackiston for Houston and maybe Butterick for Cook. Now, yes, Butterick probably still have some money to make. Also, he'll get DPP in round 6, so I don't mind it. Keeping Butterick, but the thing is, they took away all his kick-ins last week and he had a 75. If he gets less than 80 this week, then he's not going to make too much more money. So this 295 is my prediction on him getting around a score of around a 70 this week. So he is at a starting price of, if we go back to the team, so this is my prediction, so his price now is 245, 700. All he needs to do is so if he gets a 76, he'll go up 50k, and so I've said a little bit less than that. So, even 290 is probably, acceptable. So we go back here. Let's say he has a bad game. Let's say he has a really bad game and he only goes up 285. Cook costs 158, 700. Now, if Cook, like I said, if Cook scores an 70 to 80 plus, he's going to be a must-have. He's going to go up enough money to make it worthwhile having him. If we could have a quick look at that as well. But I don't think you should go there this week, because if he gets a 40, like I said, Milan is going to go up a bit, but he won't go up that much. He'll still go up, but it'll stall his cash gen, and you might not want to pick him. But just to give you an idea what he may go up. So if we go in and say Mr. Cook, we've got a cook in the kitchen. And we'll go back across like this just for you guys. So predicted, he got a 92. They're saying if he gets a 43 and a 40, so if he did have 2 bad games, he got 2 40s, he would still go up 30k. But then the week after, he would only go up 6k. So we're hoping he's going to do better than that. If he gets an 80 and an 80, it's a little bit hard for me to predict, but I assume he's going to go up more like about 50k to 60k. And then he'll go up another 30 to 50. He can back it up with another one after that. Like, he'll go up. If you got 275s here, you're probably looking at 80k, 60 to 80k in 2 weeks. So That's not bad. You want your rookies to make you at least 100. Plus, he's got the DPP. But if he drops us 43 next week, we can think about it. We can decide what we want to do. Maybe there'd be better options out there than getting him in. Depending on, we'll do the eye test and see how he looks as well. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then if you look down here in this next line here, so if we go down here, so right up the top here now, that still leaves me with 700. Once I go Butterick to Cook, if that's what I do, I still left with 371k in the bank. That means I can go from Selwood, who will also have a price rise. That's why I'm predicting he only needs to get like 35 to get up to this 155. I can afford a Malera or a Worrell. This is Wayne Malera. And I put the more expensive one as the Worrell, the two Adelaide boys, as his price there. So instead of going early on Malera, his price doesn't go up this week. I get to have a second look at him. If he comes out, takes all the kick-ins this week, scores 110, 115, I'm all in for Malera. If he gets a 90 or an 80, or say less than a 90, I'll be a little bit more worried. Like I said in the live video, I think Worrell will be more dependent. So Malera or Worrell are these two places with the Mill or the War, both Adelaide boys. He's an extra 50k though, but I think he'll be more dependable for steady scores. I think Malera could potentially go up and down a little bit more, and he also has a lot more chance of getting, well, he has a much worse injury record from the past. So like I said, I think if Malera can get 105, 110 plus, I think I'll take the risk at 30k. I did do my research. I know he had a big score last week, but he was quite good in the practice game as well in that role, and then he played that same role in the last game last year, and he also scored quite well, all over hundreds every time. I can show you that if you like. So it's not just, I know it looks like we're chasing points. There's Isaac Rankin, which is also going to come back, which is someone. The other thing I wanted to take a look at, I can only really afford one player on the round 12 buy. I've already got 5. So if I'm going to take one of these players, that would be 6. And that's more than I want. It's the absolute maximum. But if you go back, I don't know how easy this is for you guys to see, but these 3 scores here. So the top one was 2025, the last game of the season for Adelaide. He scored 109 and he took 3 kick-ins, so he has that kick-in role. So then in this practice match, he got 114. He took 4 kick-ins. And then in the first week, he gets 142. And he takes second kick-ins. And his accuracy are 87%, 96%, and 94%. So he's going at a Supercoach over those 3 games. He's going at an average of 121. So one more game. Let me have a look at him. Does he still get all the kick-ins? Was it an anomaly that he took more kick-ins than Worrell? I think Worrell took 3 or 4 and he took 7. So I would like to see that. But like I said, I also kind of like Worrell. So I'm kind of still doing the crazy maneuver, but I'm leaving the craziness to next week. So I don't have to use a boost next week if I don't want to. And like I said, yes, you would prefer to use boosts during the upgrade period and maybe 1 or 2 during the buys. But if you need to use a boost this week or next week to get your team right, to get the right rookies in, to get the injuries out that you need to, if you've got a lot of problems, I totally understand that. Just the only reason I was planning to do, I'm not planning to do one this week, no matter what. But next week, if it gets me a Malera and a Worrell, I could certainly see myself doing a boost next week. So I had a few other options here. We just go Butterick to Cook Blackston and we bank 380k. And then we just have to depend on a rookie. Or the other reason was, this is where I looked at going at Fonty, where if I went Fonty, I'd have 330k. And then even if I boosted the week after, I could get Houston, but I would have to pick up the 2 rookies, which is also, I mean, like I said, Fonty's going to make money, but he's not a keeper. So if you're looking for a quick 100k cash grab, I understand getting Fonty, but I'm thinking that if I'm in my plan, if I get Malera or Worrell into my team, I'm picking them as like keepers that like fallen, like cheapo or the mid-price keepers, you know. And same with Dan Houston. I'm picking him. I'm thinking that he is a keeper for the season, which when we go back to my team, it makes me really like the look of my team. It means I would have Sinclair, Rosie, Houston, and then instead of Selwood would be Malera. And now, so then for a couple of weeks, there would be Grill and Jarks on the field, which are 2 of the probably better rookies around. So I don't mind them so much being on the field. But at round 6, we assume that Tanner Bruin will get DPP status, and he'll be able to move back into that position. So then I'll only have 1 rookie on the bench in the back line, and all potential high scorers. We'll have Sinclair, Rosie can go big, Houston we've seen can go big, and Malera or Worrell, we know that they can go, you know, I think Malera can go big, and I think Worrell will be a nice, consistent 100-ish type player. So, but then by doing that, it means if Rankinene comes out and smashes it, I could also still get him. I don't know if I can afford him over Worrell. I think maybe I just can, depending on how the scores of some of those rookies go, if I wanted Rankinene in my forward line. But like I said, I've already got too many of those round 12 bye players. If we have a quick look at the buys. So Adelaide, Gold Coast, North and Port. Adelaide, Gold Coast, North and Port. And I have, so out of those, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's really the most I'd want, but I'll accept for a keeper for getting a 6, someone who I can think who can really score big and put me in front of the rest of the competition. And I think those back guys at that price, I think there's a lot more chance that they can go big and potentially end up being a keeper, as opposed to anybody in the forward line at the 430 to 480 price. Again, Rochelle, a lot of people are talking about him, also plays for Adelaide. So I'd have to get one or the other. I couldn't get... Do I think Rochelle will outscore Worrell by the end of the season? No, I don't. Do I think Rochelle will score out Malera? Not at his current position. Not at his current way he's playing at the moment, the position he's playing. So I'd prefer to snap up some other forwards from other teams. And the rookies in the forward line... I know they don't always deliver, but they look okay. Like we had 90 from Marshall last week. He's not going to do that every week. I'm sure he's going to get some 60s, but a 90 is good. Robertson, 105, looks good in the Eagles midfield. I'd say an 80 plus is probably, 80 plus is great. Anything over 75 is probably awesome. Philippou, I know he's had a couple of bad scores, but he does have the role, and I do believe he is going to pop out a 80 or a 90 at some stage, maybe even more. So he's fine. And Lombard, he's our slow burn. He'll just sit there and play every week and hopefully have a peak score when a week he kicks a couple of goals and does well. So the forward line, it will be still a little bit rookie, especially if we're getting Buderick out for Cook. So it could be a bit up and down in the forward line. But like I said, I think you can have a premium. We could have Cook here who gets a 60, but we could also have Sean Darcy here who gets us a 60. Or even a Rochelle could get a 60. We saw Connor McDonald last night played and it didn't do the best for the Connor McDonald owners. So this was the game last night between the Hawks and Sydney, where the Hawks won. If you're a Connor McDonald owner, he got you 76. So not a disaster, but if I've got a rookie that can get me close to that, if Cook can get me a 60 to a 75, he's like 200k cheaper. So, I prefer to invest that money somewhere where I know the scores will be more regular and they can be big scores. That's why I like this. Stacking up the back line, you just have the one. Like I said, having the Tanner Bruin who can move between mid and defense will be very handy. I'll be able to pick whichever's the best rookie, best place to have two rookies. Either I can have Tanner Bruin in the middle and have Jaeger Smith as my last rookie, or I can have Tanner Bruin in the defense and have one as a rookie. And hopefully Dan Houston and Malera work out as keepers for me. Now, Malera with that 147 in his bank, if he could come out and get like 110 next week, he'll be guaranteed to make good money the week after, even if he has bad scores. And then if he failed and went on to get 75 for the next few weeks, at least he would probably go up to close 100k, and I would be able to bank him up to somebody else. So that's my thinking. I know, at 130k more than Fonty is probably the safer pick for making money, but he's not a keeper. And I think Houston and Malera or Houston and Worrell can potentially be keepers. And I think they can still score as good as I think they can score better than Fonty myself. I think Fonty has had a couple of games and he could drop a bad game at any time. But I totally understand people going there. I'm just not going to go there. So once again, this week, 2 trades, no boost, Young and Goulden out, up to Bontempelli. We had a nice little bit of money in the bank, so that allowed us to do that. And down to Murdoch, who is being given the green tick. So does that mean the teams are in? Or is it still, as we are doing the video, have the teams come in? Yes, they have. They have, crew. So while I've got everyone here, let's have a quick look at the Sunday teams. Now, I'm doing this on the fly. I didn't plan to do this, but they literally just came through just then. So this is good to see. So for the Eagles, I don't know. I hate the field view. I don't know about you guys. It looks pretty, but it's hard to see. So actually got dropped. Lindsay got dropped. Oh, that's rough. That's really, really rough. So Kelly and Liam Baker comes in. There's one of our rookies that we thought was going to be pretty dependable, has got dropped. Does that change what I'm thinking about doing? Not really. It does mean, though, if Selwood plays, if Selwood's going to keep playing, maybe I'll be trading out Lindsay next week. So Marek also got dropped. Tom Cole got dropped. Tim Kelly is in. Liam Baker is in. Harry Edwards is in. Okay, that's disappointing, but okay. Milan Murdoch, he made it on the bench. Cooper Duff, Tyler, Jake Newton, Bo Allen, and Tim Kelly. We could always potentially do a sideways from Lindsay to Bo Allen if he has a decent score. He's a little bit more expensive, but, the Eagles seem to like him. North Melbourne making no changes, and why would they after their win last week? So everything seems normal back there. Where are they naming Luke Parker on the bench? He had that halfback role last week, which everyone wanted McKercher to have, but he didn't. So, all right, let's go up. What are the other? Port Adelaide and Essendon. So Vicentini is being dropped. So in Lucucius, Mead and Sweet, and out for Port Vicentini, Ollie Lord and Lockie Jones. In is Kako, out for Archer May and Essendon. So that shouldn't affect too many people unless you went the Vicentini early on. It might be time to get off Vicentini, maybe get on somebody else if you can afford. If you've got Young, go Young down to Milan, and Vicentini up to a bona fide ruck. I just want to say, by the way, big stuff you to Minnie McWalter, who loves to play rookie roulette, and dropping Josh Lindsay after one game when he's a very, very good kick. And I assume they're going to put Liam Baker in that role. Harry Edwards is also a defender, but he's more of a tall defender. So they're getting rid of 2 running, kicking defenders for a tall, and I guess they're playing Liam Baker back there. So I kind of understand, but I'd like them to play Josh Lindsay. He looks like a good kid, but so thanks for nothing, Minnie McWalter. You've done the same thing as you're doing. You're already screwing us on the rookies just like you did last year. And if you drop Milan Murdoch next week, I'm pretty sure there'll be a line of us Supercoach people kicking down your door. All right, Will Brodie didn't get a go. He's on the emergency list. What about our other friend, the 99k dude, Jack Watkins at 99k is getting another go. So he's someone to keep an eye out for next week. If he is named again, I wouldn't be getting on him early. But if he's named again next week at a 99k guy, he could be someone we could look at. You know, could be someone for if a Sharp is still not performing, or if we wanted to get rid of the Carroll back there, who thankfully was named this week. So not too much to worry about there. Is that the only 2 games? Yeah, they're the only 2 games on Sunday. So that is not going to change my opinion on what we're doing with my team at all. We'll just go back and have a quick look and see Lindsay. So Lindsay's out. We'll reload it. So Lindsay's out. Milan's definitely in, which is good. I do worry about Minnie and his rookie roulette that he likes to play. We did discuss how the way Minnie McWalter picks his rookies is he has a dartboard and he puts all their pictures on the dartboard and he throws 2 darts, whichever one he hits first. No, I think maybe he has 2 dartboards, one with the players already in and one with the players already when the players to come in. Whichever dartboard hits with a dartboard on the in, they go out. Whichever dartboard, whichever one he hits on the inside, they go in. So now you know. There's no committees or anything. That's how he picks which rookies he plays each week. So yeah, there's not much call to panic, I don't think. There are no cheaper rookies for Lindsay that I would want at the moment. It is best 18, so we don't have to worry about it. I think it's a decision for next week. 122,500. If we were to go, instead of Selwood, 122,500 and take out Selwood and we put Lindsay. Did I spell your name, Matt? Did I spell your name right? So I can still get Malera or Worrell just with 6,700k in the bank when he doesn't have a price rise. And then if he gets brought back in the team in the future, he will need to play 2 more games, so we can potentially use him as a downgrade in the future. So the same plan works. This probably is better, especially if Selwood holds his spot in the Bulldogs team. That way, at least he'll be going up in money, but slowly. So we can still do what we want. It's just a plan with a different name. So I don't mind it too much. It's still good. Anyway, crew, that went on a bit longer than expected because of those late teams. Once again, I will pull my team out again. There you go. That's what my team is going to look like. Well, no, it's not what it's going to look like this week. It's because we're going to have these rookies on field. I'm not predicted to get a great score of only 1690. We're having Bontempelli as our vice captain and Anderson or Sheasel as our captains, one of those 2. Yeah, so that's the team for this week. That's my trades. That's my thinking. I hope it helped you guys out. Like I said, really appreciate your support. So hit that sub button now, like the video, and leave me a comment down below. And I'll talk to you all again very soon. Take it away, Skip.